Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Leaders Dialogue Show. We are privileged to have Mr. John Ng'ang'a, and we are discussing the issue of values. Mr. John Ng'ang'a, how does values determine our decision making?
Yeah, we started before the break discussing the power of values.
Yes.
Because values are your inner belief system, what you value most. It then means whenever you act outside those belief systems or those values, you feel uncomfortable. Because you feel uncomfortable, you won't go on with that behavior. And that's why it will be important. It will be important to check what values. What do you value? Because whatever you value can tell me who you are. You are not just your behavior, because behavior you can easily do drama. You know, drama is when you act according to the script.
Yes.
But you can't go on for long. You cannot be dramatizing all the time. You will know finally who you really are, and that's why it is important to separate drama. And that's one of the critical issues about people. Behavior does not quickly tell you about belief system or values, because somebody can be acting. He knows, Engineer Duko is a pastor. So around you, he always behaves in a manner that makes you happy.
Yes.
When he is finally on his own, you know who he is. You know, somebody has said, character is who you are in the dark. Not who you are when you are doing drama. So if you really want to know Ng'ang'a, the important thing is to see him outside his performance or his presentations. Who is he? What does he value? That's why I say character or your values are known by what you are in the dark. For example, the CEO of a big company, you can't know him in his office. He modifies his behavior in the office as possible. He may be crude to his wife. With the secretary, he's always saying, Madam, yes. Or could you please? But with the wife, he is rude. Because his values are better known when he's dealing with somebody who cannot defend themselves. That's why, for example, girls are in shock when they realize when the boy was trying to woo her, he was such a gentleman. until they get married, and he's rough, violent. Says, what happened to this boy? He was dramatizing when you were there. And that's what we normally recommend to girls. Do not be in a hurry to marry. If a guy has met you today and want to marry you in the same year, be suspicious. Because you need long enough to remove drama and get to know who the real person is. So it needs to be understood that although we are saying that values determine behavior, we also have to be careful by knowing that behavior can be moderated by individual. God has given human beings the capacity. We are not like cows that work on reflex. We can modify. I can feel like slapping you, then I remember you are my boss. If I slap you, I may lose my job. So I hold my hand. In my heart, I'm slapping you. But I'm controlling myself. That's the thing about human beings. So you need to go beyond a behavior to a little longer. The three things that can test what somebody's real values are when he is in an environment where he is not afraid of anybody. That's why we said, for a CEO, if you want to know his true values, do not look at them in the office. Go and spy on him when he's in a restaurant with helpless waiters. See how he treats those girls. Those are his values. Because your values are the only one. Since this waiter is helpless, cannot do anything to you, you now only your values can make you treat the person well. This woman is a very good lady in the office, manager. But that can't tell you who they are. Go and see how they treat the house girl in their own house. Helpless house girl. Now, the way they talk to the house girl, the way they treat the house girl is one way that will help you to know what are the values of this particular particular lady. Now, if you see a pastor in the pulpit, the way he behaves around the church, that does not tell you who he is. Yes. Go to his home. Go to a place where he has gone for a trip. You have heard of this claim, I don't know how true it is, that some hotels discovered that when there is a Christian conference around the city, the porno sites in the hotel room, you know, the ones you paid TV, are used more. Of course, I don't know. I hope it is not true. Yes. Why? Because the value, you value it. Yes. But you're a pastor. You can't do it. Now you have gone for an international conference. Yes. Now who can see? Nobody. And I'm only here for a week, then I disappear. Now those sites, you now want to see what's normally in those porno sites. Now, it has to do with your values. Yes. The problem is not the visit. No. The problem is your values. Yes. Because somewhere along the way, you will finally give in to those values. Yes. You be the temptation to act in line with your values is constant. Yes. And so that's why we are saying, yes, behavior is determined by values, but no, behavior can be modified by temperament. So the three things that help you to see the person is see him where he does not, nobody supervising him, there's nobody he fears. Number two, see him in his dark moment. You know, you can be faking it until I annoy you. I show you that, for example, I've lost your money. You have always treated me well. Then I come and say, I don't know what happened. The check of the 1 million check, I don't know where it fell. It got lost. Then all of a sudden, the same boss who is so courteous, totally is out of control. His values are the only one that can control him during that crisis. And it's important to see, so a crisis can help us to know who you really are. What do you actually value? And then the third thing, in knowing who you really are, is time. Give it time. Give it time. Be in a place where you have power and nobody is controlling you. Be in a position where you have lost your temper, or alternatively, let me watch you over time. And that's why I said earlier, we recommend to young men, don't meet a girl tomorrow and marry her on the third day. Because you cannot know a person because of their ability to modify. You can't know them over time. But your real question is about decisions, not behavior. And I think that's an important thing for us to discuss. Do your values determine your decisions? Obviously, because if you tell me, let's go, can you take me to town? How do I decide whether it is right or wrong? It has to be based on values. If you are my boss and you want to take me out, it will depend on my values. If I value eating in big hotels and you are taking me to a big hotel, even if I had work to do, I'll dump it. So my decision to go with you is determined by my values. And so it's important to know that it's not just the behavior, even the decisions will be determined by the values. And that includes every decision. How, for example, whether you take your children, primary school children, to a boarding school or not, will be determined by your values. If you value passing sincerely, and here boarding schools is where people are passing, you will just take your child to the boarding school. If what you value is Christian character, and you don't know how Christian those boarding schools are, you stay with your child, even if it will be at the expense of them getting good grades in KCPE. Because you see, what you value will determine your decisions. Now, if you're going to buy your wife a dress, how much money you can spend on it depends on how you value her. And of course, it also depends on whether you have the money. What is expensive to one guy is not expensive to another. But for you, whatever is expensive, it will determine the kind of money you can use on her. how you treat women, how you treat a girl who is innocent, will depend on your values or value on women, or even your value on sexual purity. Because sexual purity is the one that will make you not do anything that could easily tempt you to sin with a girl. So you'll be very careful how you deal with her because of the value you have. You are trying to avoid. So you can see almost every decision is determined by what kind of values you have. And so you need to check your values because they will help. Whether it's in business, it will depend on that. You have made an offer. Then you realize the reason why that supply is so cheap is because it's stolen. If you really are desperate about money, you value money, you say, but I'm not the one who stole. So you handle stolen goods. And I hear when they punish people, they punish both the one who stole and the one who handled.
That's true.
Now, but you can't help yourself because you value them. Now, if what you value is pleasing God, then there will be many deals you decide against. What's wrong with this person? Is he so foolish that he cannot see that this thing is going to make him a billionaire? Not even a millionaire. It's not that you can't see that this deal is going to help you. It is simply that your values are different. So your decisions are being led and determined by your values. Yes.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, let our behavior, our decisions be informed by our good values. Keep forwarding your comments and remarks on our Twitter handle, that is at Leaders Dialogue Show, and our Facebook page, Leaders Dialogue. Until next Monday, keep glowing as a leader. Thank you.
We are the new generation. We are the youth of the nation. High in the sky. We are the new generation. Leader. Leader. Leader.